This day at the Ingram Driving Experience has been one of those dream morning, make-a-wish type mornings for a car guy. We jumped in at a group and we cruised out to a beautiful backdrop behind me here in VIR, which is some of the best countryside and racetrack combined in the country.
So today we went to VIR to test the beautiful supercars, so obviously the 959, Carrera GT and the 918. Bob and Rory and Cam and Ginny have a sensational collection here, one of the best in the world if you like, in terms of quality of car and mileage and all those together. But for them to be able to share that, and that's the true, they, as the guys say, they're pretty much on loan, these cars. Of course they own them, but they realise that this is really a hand-on period of these beautiful, beautiful cars, and that is what was the fabric of today was about. It was my first time at VIR, yeah, and with all these classic tracks that have been designed a long, long time ago, they have a lot of character, a lot of undulations, very, very technical. The biggest surprise for me, to be honest, today was the track, just how awesome the track was.
Supercars are an unbelievable experience. The 959 is so much lineage to the past. It's amazing to think that it's a 30-plus-year-old car, but over $1 million in value, and you're out there trying to balance all of the emotion and realization of what you're driving. It's the first time I've ever driven a 959. I've worked for the company for over a decade, and I've never been in one, so it was a real honor.
The technology on that car at the time was incredible, and that was the Porsche way, obviously, finding new ways of innovation but still having the packaging and getting it into a tight, confined area to keep the sports car element alive. And then that DNA and that methodology went through into all sports cars from the Porsche range from then on.
To me, it's an education, it's a history lesson, it's a time portal into that era of what the creme de la creme received off the showroom. And they went and bought the best thing money could buy in that day. I think there's certainly a bigger gap in performance and overall feel from the 959 to the Carrera GT. It's a pretty big jump in time.
It was a huge jump. Obviously, also they made a lot more. So I think they knew they made a mistake with the amount of models they made with the 959. It was, in terms of build, it was quite a limited number. And then they went up to nearly 1,000 or nearly 1,200, obviously, with the Carrera GT. So they made quite a few. But also, obviously, the engine was the big, I would say, the most powerful, interesting point in the time, and still is today. And will be in the future. To have a V10 engine in the back of the Porsche, I want to see that again, maybe. The driving position is very, very good. I've got a great readout of all the dials and displays, and it gives me good feeling. And it's a raw car. There's not many toys on it. It is a beast, and you've got to be on your toes with it.
The Carrera GT still keeps you on edge and reminded that you're in a seriously powerful car. In general, if I could only drive one for the rest of today, it would be the Carrera GT, because it's a great combination of the past and the present, and I'm sort of old school blooded, and that's just an ultimate car. It's really a lot of fun to drive.
I think the difference between a Carrera GT and a 918, it's not a refinement package. I think it's a whole new animal. Obviously now we have a big hybrid interface on the car, tremendous amount of power. The ergonomics of the driver, the cockpit, the cabin area is very sophisticated. It's completely modern, sat nav in a supercar.
The 918 is just an unbelievable immersion of combustion combined with electrical. all-wheel drive, but the raw sensation and emotion and sound of that V8, which I made my living for 3 years, driving with it behind me in the RS Spyders.
Porsche is still right here. You know, in supercars, they've still got the road car element. If you want to have all those types of toys in the car, you can tick those boxes, you can have it, but then you can still have this incredible amount of horsepower, timeless shape for me. That's what the 918 is still going to be. Like the Carrera GT, it's going to have that timeless shape. It will never get dated.
In typical Porsche fashion, the bookends of supercars, the Ingrams have all the boxes checked off. They've collected and surrounded themselves with some of the best metal that Porsche's ever put out. But it's not to be hoarded, it's not to be hidden, it's not to be used as a status bargaining chip. It's the commonality that brings us all together, and from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds and social circles. And we can all connect on a Porsche. I just think that the theme is open arms, but it's experiential.
You know what I find since I left Formula One, the Porsche community is incredibly strong. I met the Ingrams actually through a good friend of mine, Lee Diffie in Australia. So Lee said there's these guys in Durham and they have this incredible Porsche collection. I'm like, okay Lee, you know, let's see how it goes. And then you come here and you're like, yeah, just phenomenal. You know, what the guys have done here and the love and the passion that comes through. You see it straight away, how the cars are displayed, you know, where they are. And they showcase the cars like no one else really in the world in terms of what they can do. And that for me was a really, really special thing to witness.